Oh my gosh, that is my biggest pet peeve.
What?
They're parking in a disabled spot. They should give that to somebody who needs it.
They have an accessible parking pass. I'm sure they need it.
Are you kidding me? They're like athletic and in their 20s. What are you doing?
I'm having a flare and I need it today.
But you're young and look
Incredibly sexy?
There's people who actually need those spots. You
Did
shouldn't.
you know 96% of disabilities are non-apparent? I spent 3 years of my life mostly bedridden from excruciating pain, among other things. When I did go to the store, people often didn't treat me well because they thought I was fit and healthy and could run a marathon. People with your attitude harass and yell at people like me.
I mean, I just can't believe that you need it.
Do you know what fibromyalgia looks like? Or how about a slipped disc? Do you know what cancer looks like? What about lupus, epilepsy, sarcoidosis, osteoporosis, ME, CRPS, TBI, diabetes, MS, Lyme, gout, EDS, POTS, arthritis, endometritis, Meniere's, bunions, post-knee surgery recovery? I could list 1,000 diagnoses where the person could need an accessible parking pass, but look 100% healthy to you, a completely unqualified person. In fact, doctors even need to run many tests before they can diagnose most of the disabilities I just listed, all of which can qualify for a pass.
But seriously, I've seen you dance and do martial arts. Like, you can't be disabled enough to need it.
This is a state-issued accessible parking pass. Do you know what I had to go through to get it?
I mean, it seems pretty easy. You just put
Years of seeing numerous doctors who, over that period of time, documented my ongoing need until there was enough evidence. And then they only gave me a 6-month pass and I had to keep reapplying until finally I got this 5-year one. Doctors can lose their license for prescribing accessibility passes to people who don't need them. It's not like the DMV is giving them kickbacks. Why would they risk it?
What's your diagnosis?
None of your business.
Why are you being so defensive?
How would you feel if someone screamed at you in the parking lot? Or stalked you around the store, harassing you while you shopped? Or if someone made death threats because they determined that you were faking it?
Oh, shit.
Yeah, disabled people experience this kind of thing more frequently than you'd imagine. For the longest time, I refused to use my accessible parking pass, even when I was in excruciating pain, because of this. It's funny because now that I need my pass a lot less frequently due to my treatments, I'm actually more comfortable using it because I physically feel more capable of dealing with any situation that might arise. It is terrifying to be harassed like that and be disabled.
Dang, man, I'm sorry, but aren't you mad at the people who are cheating the system?
Yeah, I mean, 85% of accessible pass holders say they've experienced times when they can't find an accessible spot.
So why aren't you...
They need more accessible spots. Don't yell at disabled people.
I've seen those news stories where they've caught people for those accessible parking pass forgery schemes, though.
Those people are disgusting. But there's also wildly varying reports on how big of a problem it actually is. It is worse in big cities and large events like concerts and sports ball games where parking is very limited. But even in those cases, a lot of cities report around 10% of passes in use are mostly expired, but also fraudulent.
But how do they know?
I think that's why there are wildly different reports. Where there are a lot of parking enforcement, people are getting caught. It's really pretty easy. Parking enforcement types the numbers on the pass and they can tell if it's a fake or expired. And maybe little Jimothy is borrowing his grandpa's pass for premium parking, and that is a dick move. But let's say 50% was illegal use. Does posting about all those fakers on social media or complaining about it to your friends do anything positive? The only thing it does is embolden someone to go and harass an actual disabled person because you cannot tell. It's not your responsibility to police accessible parking.
It just seems like there's fewer and fewer disabled spots available.
You're absolutely right. with COVID, more people than ever are in need of accessible parking because 1.2 million people became newly disabled from COVID. Breathing issues, heart issues, inflammation. COVID has caused a lot of different disabilities. So the number of legitimate passes has increased pretty significantly in the last years. So that's just one reason why people don't often find spots. There needs to be more accessible spots. And another reason is the lack of accessible public transportation. If you're going to complain about something, complain about that. Everyone wants to blame the disabled people and claim they're faking. The government certainly doesn't want you holding them accountable for lack of disability access.
Okay, yeah, but so what if the person is like running or skipping or jumping?
You cannot tell. You know someone with cancer might be able to run, skip, and jump, right? They may have complete physical mobility, but have stamina issues. They can feel pretty good one minute and go into the store and have their stamina tank on them. So they park close just in case that happens. It's literally doctor's orders.
You don't think that 20-year-old...
There is no way to tell.
She was young and looked happy and had like long hair.
20-year-olds can get cancer. Not everyone does chemotherapy, and not everyone who does chemo loses their hair. And there are such things as wigs. I don't know if she has cancer or not, but do you want to be the one to go and ruin a cancer patient's day?
Okay, fine.
There are a number of different disabilities that qualify for accessible parking for various reasons, even beyond mobility. So someone who needs an accessible parking spot can still be active and mobile. And that's ignoring other possibilities. What if you think little Jimothy is faking it, but they're going into the store to pick up their grandpa, and you're gonna harass them? There's a bunch of scenarios that could account for it.
I just wish there was something I could do about those bastards who abuse the system. Like, I don't know, next time I'll just report them to the authorities. Let them handle it.
So with a potentially 90% chance that you're going to report an innocent disabled person, and then considering that 50% of all individuals who are subject to police violence, including 50% of all people killed by police, are people with disabilities.
Wait, half of police violence is against disabled people? Okay, no, I'm not going to report somebody now, but...
I mean, sure, if someone doesn't have an accessible parking pass, but also maybe they forgot to hang up their placard. I've done that. Personally, the only time I think you should make it your business and report someone or say anything on this subject at all is if you personally know the person who is faking and you are 2,000% sure, as in they have personally confessed to you that they are faking, then you can report them.
Otherwise, I should probably keep my mouth shut and stop complaining about things that I don't really know anything about and can't really control anyway.
Yep.